Hey guys, just me popping in. Can you see me? Just popping in to let you know that in this video, my lips are looking a little swollen, maybe a little bit like, not uneven, but when I filmed this video, I got my lips done like a few days prior, so they were still a little bit crazy. I almost wasn't gonna film because I just didn't want people to think, I don't know, judgment. That's scary. I mean, look at my lips now. Look how good they look. So come on. I mean, I kind of like them swollen like that. But I just want to say before people on the internet come for me. All right? Chill out. The other day I was just chilling, minding my business when I just had this like wave of inspo over me. And I like saw a makeup look in my head and I was like, I need to bring that to life. Scary. I was hoping that something worked out. I jumped on TikTok Live so we could do it together. This is what happened and you guys wanted to see a tutorial. I think it's nice to have something to refer to, like this is always going to be here. Product list will be below. You'll see how I did it. I was feeling all the cool tones. I feel like cool toned makeup is so underrated. I wanted to bring that, you know, back to life. I never do like shimmer or glitter either, so I feel like it's about time. So this on my face is what I did, is what I'm going to show you. If you want to know, you guys know what to do. We are going to be starting with the eyes today, just to play it safe because it's the type of look where things could get a little bit messy. I have already done the brows, as you can tell. I did not wake up like this, let me tell you. I will quickly run through what I use, just because people tend to ask if you're new, you might be interested, or a lot of people at the moment think I've switched up my routine. I don't know what I'm doing differently, guys, but I've had the same brow routine for a long time. Kind of boring like that. It's my safe space. I like what I like. The Got To Be Glue, this is what I use to stick my brows down, as always. It is the best. I don't want to hear it. So yeah, that's what I use to stick everything down with. And then to fill in my brows, oh my God, these products, well, any sort of brow powder really, to be completely honest with you, but the brow pen especially, if you do not have this brow pen, oh my God, I swear it will change your brow game. This product, right, I have that much faith in and that much confidence in. If you do not like this, I will personally give you your money back. Like, it is that good. This is one of the best brow pens in the game, to be honest. The NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen. I use the shade Espresso. That's how I get the sort of brow strokes. And then I've used the Benefit Foolproof brow powder. This is in shade 3. I've been loving this at the moment. It's a little bit lighter than what I'd normally go for, but I like that. I use it as a base to my brows, so my brows avoid looking too heavy because it's not too dark. That's it. It's literally as simple as that. Obviously, carve them out with concealer. The eyes are already done. I prepped them already with some concealer, the H&B Cosmetics, and we are good to go straight in with shadow. So the palette I use for this look is the Beauty Bay Nude Eyeshadow Palette. The reason why I like this is because these cool tones, like these two shades here, how perfect, right? You've got the grays, those cooler tones. I mean, to be fair, this look is so simple. I only use a couple colors anyway, but I am going to keep it real with you guys. I don't use the black in this eyeshadow palette. If you've tried the Be Perfect black eyeshadow, it doesn't really compare. It doesn't really compare. Like, if you've used this from the Be Perfect Carnival palette, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's richer. I tried it with that black, but it just doesn't hit the same. So I'm going to dip into this for the black. But the grays and like the cool tone vibe is going to come from this palette. To be fair, I think the key to this is starting off with, oh God, there's an eyelash on there. Ew. Even though we're going to sort of like buff things out, using a small brush for product placement is the best. As you can see, that's like a really small, fluffy blending brush. Pack that onto the outer corner. Do you see what I mean about this black? It's so rich in pigment. Tap that on. I'm going to keep it sort of in this rounded motion. We're not winging anything out today. I'm just going to pack that on. I'm not going to bring it too far in though. I want to leave room to be able to add like the grays, but this is just where the depth is going to come from. Slightly buff it round. Make sure we've got the outer corner. See, so easy, right? And then I'm going to switch over to another brush. Same type of concept. It's a little bit fluffier and a little bit bigger. By the way, guys, I always get asked about brush recommendations. If you want my humble opinion, you don't need to spend a bomb to get a good makeup brush, but Beauty Bay do some lovely ones. Sigma, the Morphe vegan brush collection, they're like matte black brush collection, is so good. I spoke about it in a beauty favorite, so if you want to see them in more detail, just scroll back a little bit on my page. But I'm trying to think who else. God, there's so many more, but it's hard to just think off the top of my brain. I'll leave a bunch below. A lot of the time it's hard for a complete brush collection to sort of blow me away. I'm sort of like I look at the shape of a brush and I will think of what I could use it for and buy it, like that type of girl. I'll pick my little brain and I'll get back to you. Well, it'll be down below. Now dipping into the Beauty Bay eyeshadow palette, we're going to be taking this grey right here. This is the shade Throw Shade. Get that on there, and this shade, I'm going to use that to blend out that black, like furthermore onto the lid. See how already we're getting that gradient? I'm going to keep going until it's a little bit more faded. Blend that in. I even sometimes like to take my finger just to pat here because I want to keep that inner corner free, by the way. I want it to just literally look lighter to darker. Do you know what I mean? See how them two kind of blended together with zero effort? Don't worry if this sort of fades out the black or anything, because we can go back in and deepen. Right now I'm just focusing on that blend, right? But I'm now going to go into this grey right here. This is called Urban. Sometimes I add in a little bit of throw shades as well. I just kind of mix. Etch right along the line of the black and just buff that out a little bit. Not too high, not too far. Literally using tiny little circular motions. I'm not buffing it out too far at all. And then I like to go in with the brush I use for the black, whatever's left on there, just to sort of go over everything as well. Another thing I like to do is go in with like a big, clean, fluffy brush, buff out those edges as well. I'm not adding any more product, using whatever's on the lid, and just try to blend that out as much as possible. But do you see how we've kind of got that nice gradient now? Guys, don't be too concerned if you do take out too far or anything. This little trick is honestly my favorite thing ever. So I have a brush here, if I can find it. This brush, as you can see, has leftover concealer from when I patted out the concealer on my lid. Remnants of concealer is on this brush, right? You can use that to just press around the edges, and can you see how that has literally cleaned up? Just by pressing. It's almost cleaning up but buffing out at the same time for you. That's just like a little hack, a little tip that I like to do if you do kind of feel like you've messed up a little bit. For example, sometimes I take it a little bit too far in the inner corner. I can just pat, and I mean, look, it's starting to literally clean up for me already, and I can just go back in. Don't worry about it too much though. This is like a grungy, blown out eye. Nothing has to be perfect. Back into Beauty Bay. I'm going to take this shade right here. I'm going to just take on my finger, to be honest, guys. Obviously, if I had nails, I probably would use a brush. Nail free right now. Who am I? Somebody come to my temperature. This shade is called City of Smoke. It's like a slightly shimmery, like silver. I'm just going to use that as a base for my pigment glitter things to sit on. Gives it a little bit of background color, right? A little bit of substance. Helps it to blend in a little bit more as well. But look at that. Done. Easy. 3 shades and we're good. Now for the fun part. So we are going to be taking the Jordana Ticia Cosmetics, what are these called? I don't even know. That would probably help. These are the Base and Sparkles. So it comes with like a creamy base on top. I'm going to be real, I don't tend to use these. They are a cool concept because what it does is it places a bit of base down for you. It gives like the lid a bit of tack. So when you place the pigment glitter on top, it sticks a bit more, which is perfect, right? I'm not going to use that though because it's a little bit too dark for what I'm going for. A lot of the time I just tend to use like a glitter glue or something like that personally. But the actual, these, oh my god, these are so beautiful. These are stunning. The shade I'm using today is Cinderella. And then I'm going to mix in one of the Peaches and Cream pigments. This is in Starlight. As you can see, it's like a white sort of silver. This is just going to brighten this up a little bit. And on the lid, you're going to thank me later. I'm just saying, you're going to want to buy me a drink, right? Every time. I don't like the edge here to be too precise, so I will just go in with the fluffy brush to kind of diffuse out any edges of the glitter. Sometimes I'll even take like the lighter pigment and just put that in the inner corner right here, just to brighten that up, and I guess it looks even more like a gradient as you go across. But like, how gorge, the light reflects on these so beautifully. What I do like as well is, obviously I'm sat in front of lights, right? I'm getting the maximum like glitz, right? These in dark lighting as well. Oh, unreal. Oh, by the way, I did go in with a really small amount of the NYX glitter primer. One of my favorite things to use to stick this type of thing down, but a really small layer though. Like I said, I don't want it to look too precise. I kind of want the glitter to just be like faded out everywhere. Back in with the brush, I'm just gonna sort of see where this look is going. Now that I've got the glitter on, everything's on the lid and I can just adjust things as I want to. I don't know, just really make sure things are sort of, you know, seamless, or as seamless as I can get them. Wipe away any fallout. Once my concealer's on as well, I feel like the edge tends to sort of blend in a little bit more, but yeah, this is optional, but I like to do this to make sure that my lashes blend seamlessly because I do go in with a reasonably heavy lash. I'm going to be taking this Kash Beauty water activated liner. These, by the way, are phenomenal. I feel like water activated like liners are slept on, to be honest. When you find a good one, first of all, you get so much product. I feel like they don't dry out as well because the way you activate them and the way you use them is by using water. This is the black one. This is in Eclipse. She has some really fucking cool colors, guys, but we're going to use black, of course. Using a teeny tiny liner brush, I'm going to pick up that product. All I do is line right along the lash line all the way to outer corner. It just gives my lashes something to kind of hide with. These are such a lovely formula. Honestly, these are so fab. I love products like this as well because the more liquid you add, the runnier it will be, right? You can kind of play around with the consistency. So whatever you prefer, you can use, and yeah, it's just really customizable. Let me just show you how black these are on my hand because I feel like it's kind of hard to see on my lid. Look at that. It's unreal. Look, like it's just such a jet black formula. Real quick before we do lashes, we're going to go in with a gel kohl liner in the Waterline. This one, phenomenal. It's by Missguided Beauty. It's the Slick Flick Waterproof Gel Eyeliner. This is in the shade Blackout. I can't describe this to you. The way that it glides on, how opaque the shade is, and the way that it lasts is just, it sticks to the waterline like instantly. You'll see when I'm applying this and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Do you see that? How well that sticks with literally one glide. I'm going to tightline as well. I tend to just sort of stick it in there and then close my eye. I find it to be the easiest and the most comfortable because that's not the nicest feeling in the world. See how that adds just like a little bit of extra depth? Right, okay, now let's do some lashes, shall we? So hit it with any mascara, guys. I don't give a fuck, whatever. I'm going to stick on lashes anyway. Today's mascara of choice is the Maybelline Curl Bounce Mascara. To be fair, this is really good. I really like Maybelline mascaras though. If you're looking for a good drugstore one, I feel like Maybelline's the place to be. L'Oreal too, but apparently though, I've heard really, really good things about the Missguided Beauty one. By the way, I'm really hoping that Missguided Beauty is not discontinuing because I'm about to use their foundation, and the other day it was £3 in Superdrug. Great, but mini heart attack because why is it £3? But nothing else was £3. I need to get the deets. Today's lashes are Miss Claudia Kilsby lashes. These are in CK2. The fluff and the volume on these lashes, dreamy. Let me stick that on there and show you up close. So like a shorter, more voluminous lash. Look at that fluff. Perfect for looks like this because they're going to add the drama, but they're not going to cover everything up because they're not overly long. What I did with mine though, I kind of cut mine to be like a 3/4 lash. I'm a half lash or a 3/4 lash type of girl. So what I did is you can kind of see the lashes in sections, right? Kind of in little like segments. I cut 2 from the outer corner and 1 from the inner corner just to fit my eye perfectly. The lash glue we're going to be using is by Unicorn Cosmetics. This is called the best lash glue ever. And to be fair, it's fucking good. You guys know I'm allergic to latex and I've been loving my Box Beautiful latex free one, but she's out of stock of it right now. Found this in my drawer and I was like, let's just give it a go. If my eyes start burning, whatever. So far so good. I've had no irritation with this and my lashes stay stuck on. I have no trouble sticking them down. Wait sort of about 30 seconds, let it go tacky, pop it on, you're good to go. Take my Vive lash applicators and I'm just gonna do my thing. Guys, SOS, I've got a watery eye. Quick. I hate it when this happens. I just like hold it here for a second. God, RIP my makeup. These lashes just complete this look perfectly. I love them. I feel like from what I can see, they just look really heavy and crazy, but I promise you, I mean, I'm looking at a tiny screen, so it looks like a little blob on my eye, but yeah, they're just the perfect juiciness, exactly what this look needed. I love a CK2 lash. A very similar one from her is CK10, but CK10's a little bit longer. The last thing I do with the eye is put on bottom lash mascara, but I like to do that obviously after I've finished the skin. So I'm going to bounce off camera, do the other eye, then we can do skin and make everything come together. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is prime the skin. I have already prepped it with like moisturizer and stuff like that. I actually used my Skin by Kim. I love this moisturizer. It's spenny because it's Kim Kardashian's skincare, but I feel like it's so good for all skin types. I mean, I'm oily, I love it. I feel like it's almost, I don't want to say rich enough, but it's got substance to it that I feel like if you have dry skin, you'll love it as well. Really nice under makeup as well because it's not too heavy. Guys, can you see the makeup look properly? Like from where I am, I feel like you can't even see, it just looks black. I promise in real life it looks good. Let me zoom in so you can see it's not like a black. I'm sure when I come to edit this, I will be like, shut up, Jordan. First primer, I'm going to be taking the e.l.f. Power Grip. I'm just going to use this on the outer parts of my face though, just to give the skin a little bit of tack, give the foundation something to stick to. All I take is 1 pump and then evenly spread that around. You'll start to feel it go tacky. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to go wash my hands because yeah, God, that is so much better. I get so messy when I use glitters. And then the next primer I'm going to take, I used this for the first time yesterday. When I tell you that this has become one of my cult favorites in my primer collection when it comes to filling in pores, this is the Nars Instant Line and Pore Perfector. So it's essentially just like a little like balmy thing. Swipe this on and even immediately you start to see the difference. But the best part about this is you can't even feel it on the skin. It's super lightweight. It doesn't feel greasy or heavy on the skin. Honestly, you can't even feel it. Sometimes I just take my finger as well and just make sure that it's fully pressed in. You'll be able to see how smooth the foundation goes on top, but just like the pores are more filled in, looks smoother. It creates like the perfect base to put foundation on. It's perfect. I was impressed. Let me just say that, okay? I've been loving my Benefit Professional Light Primer. That's beautiful as well. Still love that, but this... This is kind of magic. It's almost like mattifying as well, which I think is why I like it too. It doesn't have that greasy feel. It's just lush. Let's go in with a bit of concealer to cover up these blemishes and scarring. Look at that. Honestly, I've been suffering a lot with scarring at the moment. I can't seem to like get rid of a spot, and then when I try to get rid of a spot, another one appears, and it's just this whole cycle. I know my skin's not bad, but it does have moments. So I'm going to take my Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer. This is in Custard. You guys know the drill by now. I just pick some of that up and just lay it on top of any breakouts or scarring that I want to cover. Avoid using way too much foundation, you know, unnecessarily. Oh yeah, guys, did I talk about the fact that I got my lips done? I haven't on here, have I? It's been a while. By the way, if I'm not on here, honestly, I'm on TikTok. Like, I feel like TikTok and Instagram, like, you know what's up in terms of things that happen in my life. That's more sort of frequent and more current. And then I pop on here. I try to pop on here a couple times a week. I don't. I got my lips done. Love them. They're still a little bit swollen because I only got them done on Thursday and it's now Monday. Hasn't been long, but yeah, if you notice that they're looking a little bit juicier, that's why. Let's take it over to foundation. So my Be Perfect Chroma cover, I quite honestly haven't been putting down. When I did this look yesterday, this is the foundation that I used. If you love coverage, you are just going to be absolutely, you'd want to stick this in every hole pos. Really am tempted to use this because it's just beautiful on the skin, but this foundation has kind of made like a little imprint on me at the moment. It's by Missguided. It's the Meet Your Match Demi Matte Foundation. Seriously, if you can get your hands on it, please grab it, kind of stock up. I use shades 10 and 11. I mix them together. I feel like it makes the perfect sort of fake tan color because 10 is a little bit more like golden yellowy and 11's got that more sort of like olive base. So together they're perfect. I feel like if you guys like the foundations that I like, you're gonna like this. To apply this onto the skin, I love a brush at the moment. This one has been my favorite foundation brush. Morphe V108. This is that brush collection I was talking about when I was doing my eyes. I will leave the names of brushes below because I definitely forgot to say. Sorry. The coverage is so great. Obviously it helps that I've kind of pre-concealed, but it just sits beautifully on the skin as well. Look how lovely. I mean, I'll zoom you guys in a second. Look how lovely the foundation's sitting on top of this primer. It's just filled everything in and it's sitting like on the skin rather than in the skin, which is so good. It's giving perfected skin, this foundation, which we all want. It's crazy because obviously I remember using this in my Missguided makeup video and I remember liking it. But maybe my foundation taste has sort of changed a little bit. I just love this now. I love the way it looks. I love the way it wears. It's just a really, really nice drugstore foundation. And obviously it's great, like I said, because you can get Missguided in Superdrug, so it's accessible. I know Missguided is obviously not a thing, but like Missguided Beauty, surely that's like a different thing. I don't know. I don't know the deets, guys. Despite what some of you may think. I think like a lot of people think I know a lot about Missguided. No, guys, I know what you know. If I had the inside scoop, I would tell you. But I don't, unfortunately. There we go. Obviously, I've avoided the under eye because I let the concealer do that. But let me zoom you in so you can see the way that this foundation is sitting on the skin. Obviously, it looks quite glowy now. It does chill out a bit, obviously, once it sets. But how beautiful is that on the skin? I feel like it makes the perfect everyday foundation if you like wearing makeup. The concealer is of course my H&B Cosmetics Soft Focus Airbrush Concealer. I'm currently using shade SF 2.5W. Straight in with that, down the sides of the nose, up here, chin, cupid's eye, center of the nose, and a little on the forehead. Favorite thing to do to brighten up, the shade 0. I feel like this is an essential in your kit. It looks scary and intimidating, but this is the type of product that I use to lighten up any concealer. I literally just hit right in the center like this, and then I take a little bit here just to sort of balance everything out, but mainly here because I like that bright under eye. Baby Cocoa Cosmetics by Chloe Marshmallow Sponge to tap that in. Wow, let me tell you something. This needs a wash, this marshmallow sponge. You know when it starts to go a little bit like tacky. I use the shit out of them and then I'm like, oh, okay, that needs to be washed. But lush. I love this concealer so much. I would go as far as saying that this is my favorite concealer. You know, the one you always go back to. Like obviously doing makeup, I try out a lot of concealers, but this one I just always, no matter what, go back to. Taking my big marshmallow sponge, I'm just gonna Make sure those two are sort of blended together, the foundation and the concealer just bounce everywhere. Let's bring back the warmth to this skin because I feel like I'm very much lacking right now. Doll Beauty Gimme Sun Cream Bronzer. This is in medium deep. Honestly, this has quickly become one of my favorite cream bronzers. I would say it is up there with my Primark foundation and contour stick. It's creamier. I think especially if you're a beginner with cream bronzer, you will absolutely love this. Very foolproof, like very, very quick and easy to use. I'm gonna, Sigma F23. That's my cream contour brush. I always get so many questions on this. This is the best. Straight onto the skin after I pick some up. And you'll just see, look, it will just melt away into the complexion. No issues. Doesn't look too much either. I used medium in the beginning and it looks the right shade, but because this blends in so well, I can actually go a little bit deeper with this shade. I also like the undertone of this because it's nice and warm. It's the type of shade that I tend to gravitate towards, but look at the difference. Crazy. A little bit goes a long way with this product too. Obviously, I'm quite over friendly with this product because I love my my cream bronzer, but tip of the nose, I'm going to take another cream contour for my nose though, because this is just a little bit too creamy for my nose, especially because I have oily skin. I find that it doesn't sort of last or stick as well. Nose contour, I'm going to use my Collection Lasting Perfection concealer. This is in shade Honey. I love this for my nose contour. Obviously it's got the little applicator, which is easy. It's a really, really nice shade and consistency. Do two little lines. Tap the top in like that. I'll even use my finger to make sure that's blended. So I kind of like to sort of leave the lines, but I just like overall colour on my nose as well. I don't worry about it too much. I feel like the colour does a lot of the work kind of for you anyway. And then I'll take my sponge that I use for my concealer and just gently press down the sides of the nose, and that's just going to clean up that nose contour and sort of snatch it in a little bit more. It doesn't have to be perfect because I kind of powder contour and stuff in a bit, but for now, we're done. For this look, I wanted like a nice pink cheek. Of course, it's going to be the Made by Mitchell blush in Sweet Cheeks. I am going to do my little trick though of popping this on my hand with a little bit of concealer just to lighten it up ever so slightly. That way it's a little bit more softer on the cheek and it doesn't, you know, it's not too much going on basically. Blend the two together and you see that? How that's instantly now like more of a baby pink rather than this sort of Barbie pink. You guys know I'm not shy with my blush, even when I do have a heavy eye on. How beautiful is that shade? It kind of reminds me of Strawberry Cream from Made by Mitchell. Just gives you that soft, subtle pink cheek. And I focus it more like on the apples of my cheek here, and then whatever's left on the brush, I'll blend it back. But I will go back in anyway with the brush I use for my cream contour in a sec. I just tap over the two to make sure obviously they're blended together and not separate. So cute, like how nice is that shade? And then when I put the powder blusher on top later, you guys are gonna die. To set this in place, I'm of course gonna go in with my favorite powder routine. So my Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom Cake powder, so the pink one. Oh my god guys, you are gonna die. So you know my loved Trigwell Cosmetics powder puff? Yeah, well she now has a sibling. How perfect is this little one for underneath the eye? I used to use this one underneath the eye anyway, but obviously this is way more precise because it just fits in there, look, so perfectly now. I pick up the product, you see, and then I like tap it on the back of my hand there just to sort of evenly distribute it on the puff, and then I just literally tap it on underneath the eye. This combination, this powder puff and the powder, look at the difference. I swear to you guys, I'm the biggest advocate of powder. Powder is exactly what's going to smooth everything. Like, look at that. Just like instantly looks filtered. Obviously this powder as well is just, it's fucking sick anyway, but just this combination in itself, just pressing it in, having that primer as well underneath really helps too, just to obviously have the smoothest base possible. It's just unreal. This powder I just like to use underneath my eyes. I'm just going to let a little bit down the sides of my nose, sort of chill there. And then I'm going to switch over to another favourite powder of mine, my Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. This is the anniversary edition, by the way, which is why mine looks a little bit different. I like to take it on the big powder puff. Use this to set the rest of my face. I like to set everywhere except where I've put the blush and the cream contour. Still pressing, I'm not swiping or anything. I used to use the powders to set like literally everywhere, but I've stopped setting the bronzer and the blush because I like to use like the powder, bronzer and the blush to set that. Comes off a little bit more pigmented. That's what I found anyway. Ugh, powder is just my favorite thing in the entire world. Like the difference powder makes is actually crazy. Powder foundation time. I like to use this to dust everything off, add a little bit more coverage. I love my powder. I've been using my e.l.f. Camo Foundation powder. This is in medium 330W. Pick some up, pat over the top of everything, knock off that bake that we've got chilling underneath here. Switch over the brush, pick some of that up, set the nose too. See how the powder foundation, because it's got a bit of colour, we've kept the sculpt, but it's not like a line because it's knocked it off perfectly. That's why I like this. And I feel like obviously it's like really set everything in now. Powder bronzer, I'm going to be taking my Colourpop Beachin, no, Super Shock bronzer. This is the matte Super Shock bronzer in the shade Beachin. There we go. The formula of these Super Shocks are such an interesting formula. If you guys have these, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It feels like a cream, but it sets like a powder. Like it goes on like a powder. Super velvety. I love these. You can even see like in the pan, look, that looks like a cream, but look, like it picks up like a powder. It's so interesting. I always start by tapping just to make sure everything's set so I don't disturb anything when I choose to sort of buff like that. This shade's warm, but like it's not too warm. I think because the formula is really, really buildable, it's not something that's going to completely add too much warmth too quick to the skin. You can kind of take your time. I don't want anything like crazy warm for this because obviously I've got quite a cool toned eye, but I also can't do cool tone contour either because it just looks muddy on me. So yeah, this is a good in between to have something that's a little bit more buildable. Sometimes I will hit it with a bit of matte Give Me Sun if I just want to intensify it a little bit more. This is such a staple. This is an OG. Who remembers this? Yeah, I'm still using it, but I'm an OG. Right? You know what I'm excited about blush? This is brand new from Trigwell Cosmetics. Stop. Cool toned pink blushes. How do I feel about them, guys? And is that not just perfect? This is in the shade Bellini, baby. It's like the most perfect, like baby soft, but cool toned pink. The way that this shows up on the skin is so perfect. So perfect. I've been loving at the moment my Kylie Cosmetics blush in Winter Kissed. Very Kylie-esque blush, right? This kind of gives it a run for its money. I'm going to be honest with you. It has a little bit more warmth, I would say, but it's still cool toned. So, so cute. I could just drown myself in this. For this look, I didn't want too much highlighter. I mean, I'm not the biggest highlighter girl these days anyway, but I do like a little something just to bring the skin back to life a little bit. This one from Kash Beauty is so beautiful. This is the new Skin Glaze. This is the champagne shade. She has this shade and this one here, which is, as you can see, more of like a rose pink. I'm going to go for this shade. Comes in like a doe foot applicator. I tend to just pop it on my hand. Baby marshmallow sponge. I pick up the product. Right, just here at the top. I place it just so when obviously I turn, it catches the light a little bit. I'm gonna pop a little bit down the center of my nose as well and on the tip of the nose. Doesn't lift or anything either. It's quite a like a liquidy formula, which is nice. So it just lays perfectly on top of obviously powdered skin. See that? It's like subtle, but it's just brought it to life. Before I do anything else, I'm just going to dust off this bake down the side. So just press it in. I say dust off, I actually prefer to press it in. Super quick, I'm going to go over my nose contour with my Benefit Hoola like I always do. Oh, really quick before we do lips, let's finish off eyes. This mascara. This is my favorite bottom lash mascara, guys. It's the MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash. Now, the reason why I like it, I mean, it makes my bottom lashes look crazy. The length I get from this mascara is so great, but it doesn't transfer. There's no rubbing off or anything like that. It's so great. It's not often that I rave about like a higher end mascara, but this MAC one, 10 out of 10. Every time I wear this on my bottom lashes, people ask what I'm wearing. This is just exactly what I would only ever use for my bottom lashes. Look at my bottom lashes. It's mad. Call me crazy, but at the moment I've been loving bottom lash mascara. This is actually drying up a bit. I need to go get a new one, to be honest, because it's starting to go a little bit like, not clumpy, but the formula feels a little bit thicker than it normally is. So I feel like my bottom lashes are not looking like 100%, but it's cool. I do prefer something a little bit like thinner, the formula, when it comes to my bottom lashes, but yeah, this is my favorite. Finally, let's do lips, shall we? We are going to start, guys, with my Morphe Sweet Tea lip liner. This is one of my favorites. Do you guys know how crazy it is? I don't need to overline anymore. Like I can just follow my lip line. Like what? To be fair, where they're still so new, I feel like I'm still getting used to how to like line them. Do you know what I mean? I'm not the best yet, and they're still a little bit like hard where they're freshly done, but nothing a little bit of concealer can't fix. For the center, I'm going to be using Doll Beauty Fomo, which is one of my favorite Doll Beauty lipsticks ever. The way that I like to apply this though is by taking a little brush and just picking up that product, tapping it in, and applying it like this, and then you don't kind of get that build up of product, and also you can blend it really nicely in with the lip liner. This is a good method if you're blending like a light lipstick in with a darker lip liner. I'll just look and see what I'm feeling at the time, but sometimes I like to take a little bit of my Morphe First Base, which is more of that like yellowy orangey nude. Let me show you the two next to each other so you can see what I'm talking about. See how Fomo's more pinky and then First Base is a little bit more kind of orangey. Same thing, grab it on the brush just in the center to kind of highlight the lip. Just to make sure everything's really blended, I'm going to take the lip liner again. Let's finish off with a little bit of setting spray. I'm using my Morphe Mattifying Continuous Setting Mist. Guys, I actually had to change the cap on this. I've actually taken one from this Makeup Revolution one because my one was like clogged or something. It was brand new, but it was clogged. I've actually had that happen to a couple people, so Morphe, I think we need to change that. If that does happen to you though, guys, don't think that the product is like wasted. It's not. Just change the cap and it still comes out, look. Oh, I almost forgot. Done. Cool tones don't have to be scary. I feel like we always gravitate towards the warmer tones. I feel like a lot of people think they're easier to wear, but cool tones are new warm. Let me know what you think. I would of course leave everything listed below. I love you, and if you recreate this, please send me them because I'd love to see.